Okay, so this is the second half of you guys training with me and working with some Tai Chi. So the first part, we did our base, right? And this is the most important part, right? We did our tree pose, we did our warm up, we did all of our stretching, and we started playing around just a little bit with moving the arms and the legs together. So what I want to teach now is putting some of this stuff together. So we've been doing this together for about a month now, and you've learned part the wild horse's mane, okay? You've learned brush the knee and push. You've learned repulse the monkey, okay? And you've learned cloud hands. Now, those pieces may seem disparate, okay? You have two things that are moving forward, you have one that's moving side to side, and you have one that's moving backwards. So you've covered almost all the planes of motion, and what we're going to do is link those today in a form that you guys can do at home together. But before we do that, I need to show you guys how to step properly. Now, you guys know the Tai Chi Walk. Okay, so I'm not introducing anything really earth-shattering today, but this is an important concept, and it's also good for balance. It's kind of a combination of the two. The ability to change direction quickly is inherent to martial arts, but it's also important when you suddenly say, oh gosh, I forgot this, or somebody calls your name and you suddenly turn around. A lot of falls happen when people do this kind of thing, right? They lean back, or they take a couple steps this way and they lose their footing. All right, so we're going to show you how to do that move quickly. All right, so we're going to go back to the very basic, the very beginning, the very basics of our Tai Chi walk. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to have my left foot forward. I'm going to have my right foot at a 45-degree angle. Okay, we know the basics. I fall on this back leg. Okay, fall is the wrong word. I sink on this back leg. Okay, you'll notice that the knee compresses a little bit. Okay, most of the weight is on my heel now. There's a little bit of a fold in the crease. So this area in here traditionally is called the qua. It's a K-U-A, and this means sort of, it's also, the inguinal crease is the proper medical term, okay? And this is that V right in here. And when I collapse this, okay, notice that my butt isn't moving way back, it's just a collapse into the hips. Okay, so when I'm in this original stance, I collapse a little bit. This crease folds in a little bit. I compress off the ground, and I can feel that compression. I can feel that spring. Okay, I want to come up off the ground. And as I sink on that back leg, this front leg is open. Okay, so what that means is I can do anything with it. Okay, it's empty. I can pick it up, I can move it around, I can do whatever I want. But in this case, I'm opening the gate, and then I'm transferring weight. Okay, I'm transferring forward and through. Okay, so that I'm positioned for the next step, which is to fold back on this left leg. There's a crease right in here, folding into the qua, opening up this leg, stepping through. Okay, now I can do this multiple times, coming up and down. Okay, step and step. But now here I am at the end of the mat. Now I want to change my direction. Now I can simply turn around like that, okay? But if I want to keep with Tai Chi principles, let's say I end how I began, with my left foot forward and my right foot at a 45-degree angle, okay? So normally, I fold back on this leg, I would open this leg and step forward. But what if I wanted to go backwards? And what if I wanted to just suddenly cut my direction? Well, I do the same thing. I come back on that leg, I sink down, I fold the crease. It's exactly the same, except instead of folding the heel outward or folding the foot outward, I fold it inward, okay? And that way when I lean, two things happen, okay? I lean, and this outside edge of the foot prevents me from going forward anymore, okay? It's clear in my mind that my direction has changed, and now I pivot. And this leg becomes the heavy leg, this leg opens out, and now I've changed direction. Okay, so from here, I'm back to my Tai Chi walk. Okay, walking along, I'm back to my Tai Chi walk. Okay, I turn that foot inside. I sink and lean, this foot turns out. I'm back in the original position. Okay, this will take a little finagling. It'll take a little bit of finesse. It'll take a little bit of practice. Okay, you might not get it right away. But the idea is I'm using that same rocking motion, okay? I'm just rocking backwards instead of forwards, okay? So in this case, I rock back, I settle on that back leg, I open the front leg, I step forward. I rock back, I open the leg, I step forward, okay? I rock back, I open the leg, I step forward. I rock back, I close the leg. I still rock forward, but I use that momentum to shift me back, okay? So there's a rock back and forward. A rock back and forward. A rock, but I turn the foot and come backwards, okay? I rock, I turn the foot, I come backwards, okay? So the energy never changes. The movement never changes. The movement is always, there's a compression in the back leg, okay? There's an opening or a closing in the front leg, okay? And then a push and a rock forward, okay? Sinking on that back leg, opening up that leg, push forward. Now, open, push. Now, same thing going backwards. Sink on that back leg, excuse me. Instead of opening, I'm going to close. I'm still going to rock forward. This is how I'm going to transition, okay? The rock forward, I settle on that leg, back. Settle on that leg, and back, okay? And I can do this multiple times from multiple angles, okay? I can even play with going back and forth a couple different times, okay? I can play with opening the step versus closing the step, okay? Now, the idea isn't to do this quickly. You certainly can. You can really get into sort of the speed of it all if you really want to start playing around with changing direction, but you don't want to get dizzy and you don't want to overstep, excuse me. You don't want to overstumble. What that means is I start getting really fast and I start kind of losing my footing, and I don't want to do that. I want to always keep myself nice and precise. I want to keep my Tai Chi principles. I want to feel that compression and expansion, okay? And when I change direction, I want to make sure that I have that, I'm moving. And this is why it's deceptive, because it looks to your opponent like you're moving forward, but you're actually turning around, okay? And then I'm going to have to open these legs a little bit. So if I end up in this position here, with my left foot forward and my right foot back, I open the gate, I step forward, I sink, I close the gate, I'm going to roll, and as I turn, this part of my body is going to turn. If I just do that, I'm going to end up getting stuck. I'm going to end up twisting this knee, I'm going to have a weird compression here, so I've got to rotate this leg around. So there's a correction that's going to have to happen to return to that original position of one foot facing 45 and one foot facing forward. Okay, so there's a little bit of finesse work involved in this. You're going to have to kind of tailor it to yourself as you move, okay? But again, I just want you to feel that same, there shouldn't feel like extra steps. It shouldn't feel like anything that's foreign. It should feel the exact same way as the rest of the Tai Chi Walk, okay? There's no difference except you're playing around with the ability to change your direction, okay? So I want you to play with that for a few minutes. Make sure you get a drink. Again, this is something completely new that we've introduced, and all of a sudden I'm used to going in this straight line, you know, up and down the floor, doing my Tai Chi walk, doing my moves, and then all of a sudden I'm changing direction. The reason we're doing that is in order to have this linking form and to join these four moves into one, we're going to need to be able to move back and forth, and we're going to need to be able to change direction without just getting to the end of the line and saying, all right, I'm going to reset. You know, we want to keep it in the flow. We don't want to have a stop, start, stop, start. We want a continuous path. Okay? So that's your first lesson for today. It's a really good one, in fact. And, you know, you can play with this in different directions, too. You know? However I want to do this. I can play with it. Okay? I can play with it. I can play with it. Let's say I want to come off in this direction now. Okay? I can easily do that. Let's say I want to come right behind me. I can do that as well. Okay? I'm playing with these directions. Okay, let's say I want to go this way now. I could turn that foot, put that other foot out. Okay? So I can go to the four cardinal points and anywhere in between just by doing this move. Okay? Doesn't matter how I play with it, but I want to get proficient at it. I want to get to a point where I can turn very quickly, okay? And I can make, or at least precisely, at least when I want, I can turn on a dime and come back out, okay? So work on that for now, and then when we come back, we're going to do the linking form.